In this section, we are going to look at the vital birth records. So when you decipher these forms, it's a lot easier to decipher the words if you know the type of word you're looking at. Is it an occupation? Is it a name? Is it a town? Knowing what kind of word that you are looking at will really help you to narrow down the options of which German word your handwritten word could be. So in this section, we're going to go through the different vital records, and I'm going to explain to you where the different information is about your ancestor on which part of the form. So let's go ahead and get started. Up here in the corner will usually be a letter, A, B, or C. For the birth records, that letter will be A. For the marriage records, it will be B, and the death records, it will be C. Every once in a while, however, like this form, you won't get a letter, and you'll get a page number instead. And that's what this says, Seite 13, page 13. But 9 times out of 10, you'll have that letter in the corner. So let's go ahead and look at the different parts of the form, starting with the top. Right up here, you'll have a number, and that will just be your certificate number. So this number has nothing to do with your ancestors' information. It was just used for administrative purposes. Here, however, is something of importance to you. This will be the town where the certificate was issued. And here the town is Frankenberg. Now, if you're having trouble deciphering the letters for your town name, something that I like to do is write down all the letters I can recognize and then go to Google or Myers Gazetteer and type in my region. So if I know the region where the certificate was issued, I can then go and try to find a list of all the towns for that particular region. I can then look at that list and see if there's any towns that match the letters that I come up with for my transcription. So just a little extra tip to get you started. Following the town, you will have the date. So here we have the number, 10, and these little letters up here are T-E-N, and that's the German equivalent of the English TH. So instead of 4, we would say fourth. Instead of 7, we would say seventh. And that's what that T-E-N is in German. Then we have the month, Februar, so February, followed by the year, which is very easy to read here, 1876. Now sometimes the year will be written out in letter format. We're going to take a look at that in the marriage section later. But for this form, we got lucky and we just need to decipher numbers. And now let's move on to the main part of the form, where a lot of the information about your ancestor is. The form will start off with this phrase, vor dem unterzeichneten Standesbeamten, so before the undersigned registrar, the following, so I'd like to add that in because otherwise the grammar doesn't make sense in English. So before the undersigned registrar, the following person appeared today. And now this phrase is something we're going to talk about. This phrase talks about how your ancestor or how the declarant was identified. So if the identity of the declarant was already known to the registrar, you will see it look like this. Nothing written here with the word bekannt. And that just means identity known to the registrar. However, if this word here is anerkannt, that means that there will also be something written here. And that word or that phrase that is written here will be the type of document the declarant used to prove their identity to the registrar. So you might have a passport, a baptismal certificate, a birth certificate, a military pass, any number of things to show that the declarant was who they said they were. So it will either be bekannt with nothing or anerkannt with a form of identification. Next, you will have the occupation of the declarant. So here we have